Okay, so I think my black walnuts are ready to try. They've been drying for some of them 2 months, some of them a month. So let me grab a handful and we're going to try cracking them open, see what they taste like. Okay, so from reading online, regular nut crackers don't work on black walnuts because they are incredibly hard. So in looking up some information, the easiest way to crack open black walnuts is to buy a nutcracker specifically for that. I found two. One of them was $100. The other one was $230. Unless I bite into these walnuts and go, oh my goodness, these are the greatest things I've eaten since, I don't know, macadamia nuts. I'm not spending that kind of money on either one. Even a lot of the ones, I found a few on Amazon that did say works on black walnuts, but then there was other sellers that had the exact same model and they said does not work on black walnuts, only works on English walnuts. So this is how I'm going to try it after watching many videos on YouTube. So I have here a rock from my backyard that I don't know what kind of rock it is. Hopefully it's hard enough. I'm going to put a towel down on my kitchen table. This is an old stained up kitchen towel. So I'm going to put the rock on that. And I'm going to put this over top of the rock, but I'm going to put the walnut inside this little fold here. Because when I hit it with the hammer, I don't want pieces exploding all over. I did that with my first one. I hit it and I hit it and I hit it. It didn't break. I hit it a little harder and pieces went all over my kitchen. And that bothered me for two reasons. One, black walnuts are toxic to dogs. I didn't want my dog finding any of the meat pieces and eating it. And if any of the shell pieces, which can be very sharp when they break, if she found those and ate them, not only would it be toxic, but it would slice up her insides. So that really freaked me out. So we're putting them inside the towel. Let's see how this works. Okay. And my son works overnights and he's sleeping now, and I'm going to be hammering away on walnuts. Probably going to make him mad. But let's see. I'm also afraid of doing this because I'm really afraid of hitting my hands with the hammer and hurting myself. And I mean, I'm hitting it pretty hard and it's not breaking, cracking, or anything. All right. Nothing. Not a crack. All right, so we're going to try something totally different now. We're just going to hold that cloth down and, all right, gave it one good sharp whack on the side. And let's see what we got here. Okay, it did break apart into a gazillion little pieces. But let's try a bite. So one of the other things that some people said was to have nippers on hand to help you cut the shell to get out some of those little pieces. And that sort of does kind of work too. So here's a nice little piece of nut meat. There's a piece. And when you do this though, you just got to be really careful that you're not eating shell pieces. You're actually getting the pieces of nut. See that? I thought it was a piece of meat, and it's not. It's a piece of the inner shell. What is this? This is shell. Let's try a bite. See what we think. First of all, I'm not sure I really like the smell of them. They smell kind of chemically. These are supposed to be like walnuts, but sweeter. That's definitely like a chemically smell. I'm not liking that. Let's try a bite. My first reaction is no. I don't like them. It's kind of walnut-ish. And it's not quite as bitter as an English walnut, but it's got this kind of subtle chemically taste. It's a little off-putting to me, and I don't know if it's just because this one is bad or because this one just had too much black on the hull, and they say they are more bitter when they're a lot of black. So now I'm using the nippers to try to get some more out. They're, for the kind of work it takes gathering them, cleaning them, drying them, storing them, and getting them open just to get the meats out and biting into it and going, this is not the best nut I've ever had in my life. I'm just wondering if this is, I know it's free food, but is this really worth it? See, I can't even get any of those pieces out, even after whacking it again with the hammer. It's, I mean, shelling walnuts is not the easiest walnut to shell in the first place, but these are even harder than English walnuts to get all the little pieces out. So I don't know. I kind of feel like that this is a foraging fail. I might try a couple more pieces. I might try a couple more walnuts though. I got to get a container for the little meats that I am getting. I had to go and get my glasses just so I could distinguish what was meat and what wasn't. I don't like wearing these either. I don't like admitting I gotta wear glasses now that I'm getting older. But they're fashionable, right? They got these little cute paw prints and, yeah, it's not so bad, I guess. There we go. That's a little piece of meat there. I don't know. If any of you have any insight on how to do this better, like I said, if I bit into one and said, oh, that was the best thing ever, I'd spend $100 on one of those nutcrackers. But I'm not sure. There's definitely is a weird chemically smell I'm picking up, and I don't know if that's just because. So if you look at some of them, some of them are small, some are big. They don't smell moldy or anything, so I think they dried out well. There's no signs of mold. Doesn't smell like mold on the outside. Oh, I don't know. Let's try another one and see what happens. Maybe it's just, I know some of them are going to taste different than others. You ever do that? Like you get macadamia nuts and, you get one that just tastes a little off. So maybe my first one was just a little off. So the other time I tried holding it up and down because they say that that's the best way to do it. That didn't work very well, and I put it on the side and worked with one whack. Nothing. And this one even, you can see the seam in it. All right, we're going to put it on its side and try it. Just put a hole in my towel. That's how rugged these things are. I actually put a hole in my towel. All right, though, we did have breakage. I got a couple pieces of meat right off the bat. So the nippers do work. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at this. This is almost a big piece. Boy, these shells don't want to give up this meat. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Let's try this piece. It still has that weird funky smell to it though. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to smell and taste. Well, this one tasted better than the last one. But there's still something weird about it. I guess I'm going to have to get in contact with some people that have eaten these and find out. Oh, look at that. I got another piece. The nippers really works good. I didn't think the nippers would cut the outside shell, but they actually do if you get it in the right spot. I was just trying to cut away the inside. It wasn't working. Look at that. Let's see if we can get that out in one chunk. Uh-oh. Piece went flying. I gotta go find it. And I tried a third one, and now I got a big hole in my towel, so I gotta think of something else to do. And whacked it with the hammer, broke right in half. Yeah. I mean, this is my third one, and I'm just not liking that smell or the taste. Maybe I should put the money out and buy some black walnuts from a store. They're hard to find though, and they're expensive when you do find them. But maybe I should buy some just to taste them, to see how different they are from these. I mean, if they're cultivated, these are wild foraged, so of course they're going to be a little different. But just to give me an idea if the taste is on the, the right track. Oh, another piece just shot off. I found it. Yeah, I don't. So far, this is a foraging failure. I'm just not really happy with these. And it's just way too much work for. I mean, it's a little tiny bit. Look how long this video is, and this is. So it's just. Yeah, gotta find a solution. I gotta find out if that's the way they're supposed to taste. Because even my tongue feels a little funny eating them. I'll let you know if I get sick. If you don't hear from me, then I either died from eating these or I got better. But if I just have some food poisoning, I'll let you know. But yeah, I'm not really liking these. I think this is a fail. Kind of disappointed because I got a lot of them. It's a lot of free food, but it's just like if somebody gave me a bag of lima beans and said, here's some free food, I'd be like, ugh, thanks for nothing. I'd have to pass them on to somebody else. Maybe that's what I should do with these. Maybe give some away to people that I know like them. I don't know. Put them out for the squirrels. Yeah. No. Tell me what you think. Okay, sorry for the bright white light, but I need a lot of light for what I'm doing. So if you watched my last video about the walnuts, this is an amendment to it. One of the biggest problems was cracking the walnuts open using a hammer. It was messy, it was hard, it was inefficient. And I ate a couple of the walnuts and they kind of were yucky tasting. But I have a lot of walnuts and I really wasn't ready to give up on the whole idea of eating them. So, as I said in the other video, I went online and I looked for walnut crackers. And I found one for $100 and one for $230. Now, on Amazon, I did find a walnut cracker that said it works on black walnuts. But here's the thing. A lot of different sellers have that model that they all look exactly alike. And some of them say works on black walnuts, and some of them say does not work on black walnuts. So I picked out one that it said it was good for macadamia nuts, which are supposed to be harder than black walnuts. I posed up a question, will this work on black walnuts, not English walnuts? And a buyer actually responded and said yes, no problem. So I went ahead and ordered it. It was on sale. And it had a coupon and I had points. So I ended up getting it for like $15, which is awesome. But I think regular price was like $28. And I will put a link in the description if I remember. I'll try to put a link in the description. I don't make any money for recommending this. This is not, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm just trying to help you guys, that you people that like to forage for black walnuts just like I do. This does work. So I practiced on a few until I got good at not exploding them all over the kitchen, and ate a couple of them, and I ate a couple that were actually good. If you're thinking it's going to taste like a walnut, they don't. They've got like a bittersweet kind of a taste. So they're kind of bitter like a walnut, but with a little different flavor in there that I can't really describe. So I'm thinking the couple that I ate that were kind of chemically tasting probably had too much black on the outside husks, is what I'm thinking. So next year when I do this, it's going to be green husks only, no black ones. But I did eat a couple. I am getting a little bit better at using the walnut cracker too. I actually got out some decent sized pieces. So let me show you what I bought. So here it is. This is it here. Doesn't come with walnuts, of course. But this is it. It's got this little thing here that you can use to adjust the size of the mouth here. Let me give you a little side view. So the walnut's going to go in here, and you can adjust this to make it bigger or smaller, and then crack. Now I've got it sitting on this. This is actually a piece of metal that I covered with fabric to use as a little card table. My husband and I sit and play cards on the couch. And you will need still nippers and maybe even a nut pick to help you. I like this though because all the little bits get caught in a tray. It's a brilliant, brilliant design. It really does work. But once you crack them with the nutcracker, you will need the nippers to help you. The towel is here because when I make that first big crack, I like to put the towel above it just to keep any little bits from flying around my living room. So let me show you how it works. Okay, so here we go. They say you're supposed to do it with the points, but I found it didn't work that good, and it works better if you just kind of put it in the side. This is a pretty big one. I got to open this up pretty far. Of course, if it's too big to get in there, You just have to put it in anyway, it'll fit. Like this one here, look how big this walnut is. You see that? It's huge. It won't, I don't think it'll open big enough that you can fit this one. Unless I put it in sideways like this. So that's how we're going to crack it. So this is what I do. I tighten it down. I'm going to place my stained up towel on top just to help catch those bits. And you listen for the crack. This one's a tough one. There we go. Didn't break it all the way. You have to be careful too to make sure that you get actual pieces of nut meat. So this is, I don't know if you can see that that's actual nut meat. So I'm going to put that in that container. But you're going to get a lot of little bits that you look at and you might think they're nut meat and they're not. They're pieces of shell. So you got to be really careful. So I'm going to try cracking this one again. This is a really tough shell. So you can see here, I broke it apart. And now I'm going to use the nippers to cut these inside pieces to get the nut meats out. That's where the nippers and the nut pick come in. So like you might think this is nut meat, and it's not. This is shell. Let's see. Hey. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this. So to get these two little pieces out, you're going to use the nippers on the inside. Remember, I'm brand new at this, so I'm still learning too. And I've got the camera set up in such a way I actually can't see what's recording, so I hope you can see this. But there you go. Here's a little piece. Let's see how this one tastes. That one's really good. This was a really good nut. This really big one. Not bitter. It's like a buttery green flavor. So if you've ever like you know how like the really dark olive oils have like that, you can tell it came from a plant flavor? It's kind of a little bit like what this is. I read an article where a chef described it as an unripe flavor. And that's why it kind of reminds me of chewing on plant material in a way. But, you know, to me it's not distasteful. I can see why some people wouldn't like it. But it's kind of almost buttery. So this is a piece of shell. This is a piece of meat. It goes in that container. So you can see here, there's still a lot of meat in this one that I got that I can get out with either the pick or the nippers. And unfortunately, you do get quite a little bit of crumbs in the tray that are just too small and mixed up with a lot of bits of shell that aren't worth, you know, it's not worth sifting through. Just So I got a little bit of nuts. I only did like 2. That's not bad. So if you're not sure if it's a nut, the meat, or the shell, just take your fingernail and press in it, because like this part right here, so if you could see this little line right here, it's almost the same color as the nut meat, but if you press your fingernail into it, it's hard as a rock. And right next to it, the little bit that's almost the same color, you press your fingernail into it, it's soft. So you know that's meat. Let's see if I can get this nice big chunk of meat out of here with these nippers. Let's see. So I'm thinking I want to cut right here. Oh, that's a piece of meat. That's a piece of meat right there too, I think. Yep. So you cut away at that inside pieces of shell, and then you can get the nut meat out. Did you see that? Just a little wiggle and came right out. There's another piece. It's nut meat. Take off little pieces. When you try to nip off too big of a piece, it's really hard. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So, I have to say, I am enjoying the walnuts. 2 reasons why. Number 1, it's much easier to crack them with this nutcracker. And 2, I got to eat a couple of them that did not taste terrible. And so now I am very happy and thankful for my harvest. And I'm going to be shelling a lot of these and then putting them in the freezer for storage. And some of them I'm going to leave in the shell for a little while. And yeah, I'm happy. Thank you, Lord, for this bountiful harvest. And forgive me for doubting it. You know, but I had like 3 out of 3 in walnuts that were like, wow. But now I've eaten a few that are really good. And yeah, this is great. And this nutcracker definitely makes it well worth it. Using the hammer on a brick was just not going to work for me. Even if they tasted great, it just wasn't going to work. This nutcracker is good. I don't know how long it'll hold up. You know, it may fail or break after 100 walnuts. It gets stressed out. Who knows? But it's definitely holding up good now. And I'm going to get cracking away. Ooh, look at that nice piece. Ooh. It's like, do you eat it or do you put it in the container to store? This is a big one. I think that's as big as it goes. See that? I didn't put the towel over it, and I had little bits that popped out all over. I'm going to be paranoid about the dog finding them. Look at that nice big piece. That's awesome. I gotta try this one. Mmm. That one was good. Alright, well, I've got 2 big bags to crack open. I don't think you want to sit here and watch me crack them all, do you? Ooh! Another nice big piece. Look at that. We'll put those in a safe container. This is another reason why you, by the way, you cure them or dry them for, some people say 2 weeks, other people say, you know, 2 months. But you definitely got to cure them, because what happens is if you try to eat them while they're still fresh, the nut meat is stuck to the shell. Whereas when you let them cure or dry for a while, then the nut meat shrinks up and comes off the shell, doesn't stick to it. So that's why. But all right, I'm gonna finish cracking these. Have a great day, be blessed, go play with your dog. I want to show you guys something. This is how much debris I'm throwing away. And this is how much nut meats I got. So you can see the comparison of garbage to edible. It's pretty crazy, huh? A lot of work. But they do taste good, and it's free food, so.